I'm Victoria. I'm Vanessa. Yeah, it's okay if you can't tell us apart. I guess we would call it Twingineering. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back.
To our 28th episode of Twingineering. Yeah, if this is your first time listening, welcome. If you have been along with us on the journey, welcome back.
Vanessa and I created this podcast to be a resource for Latinas and first generation minorities in engineering by providing advice, sharing our knowledge, giving testimonies, but also having or inviting guests onto our podcast. And yeah.
I think asking guests to join us has been pretty beneficial in providing other perspectives that Victoria and I can't. So today we do have a special guest, Daniela. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Daniela Gutierrez. I am from Colombia, from Bogotá. I have been here in the United States for 6 years now. I used to live in Florida, but then I moved to Ohio. So right now I live close to Columbus, Ohio. I study industrial engineer in my country, and then I came here, and right now I'm working as an engineer at Honda. What else? I'm married and I have a son. He's 10 years old now.
Aw. Yay. Well, we're so glad to have you on today's episode. And I can't wait to hear more about you. Victoria, you want to take the lead?
Yeah. So before we go into today's topic or like main theme, we're gonna get into some weekly highs and lows, get the conversation flowing a little bit. But we'll go into the lows first so that way, we can bring the energy up, right? We end on a positive note. So we'll start with the lows. Vanessa, do you want to go first?
Sure. Let's see. I feel like there were like a lot of lows this week. Um, they just pile up sometimes. But I guess one of them, so I'm not a good plant mom, I've known that. But sometimes I still take on plants to see if maybe that changes. Once my mother hears this, she's gonna be very upset with me. But the other day, I went to go check my aloe vera plant because it's outside. It's dead now. But do have a succulent and that one's still alive. I think it's because it was like that one day where like the weather dropped out of nowhere, and I put it outside because the weather was nice, and then it was too cold. Yeah, RIP.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
RIP to the aloe vera plant. I would say my low, hmm, I think just like recently, like I've been having to pay a lot for car related stuff. And I'm like, when does it end? Like,
It's
why?
not it's not going to end. I'm telling you.
Thank you. But I would say that's what it is. Yeah, every time like I have to like pay for something, I'm like, it's like a little piece of me just like breaks off.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Daniela, do you have a weekly low?
Well, yeah, it happened like let's see, Tuesday maybe. So well, this is not a low what I'm going to say right now, but the next thing is the low. So I'm preparing for a 5K because I want to run. So I'm doing like this coaching in with an application, whatever. And I went for my second run. It was like a speed run, like intervals. And I was so happy and so excited, and I didn't realize we were like 85 degrees outside. And I went, and I didn't bring water with me because I was in my neighbor. So I started. It was sorry, 27 minutes like running. So I was so happy. And then, well, I keep going and keep going. And when I finished and I stopped, I didn't know where I was. I was like lost in my town, and I was just looking around like, where am I? I had to call my husband and tell him, please pick me up because I think that I am bad. I'm not good. Like I need some help. I need water, and I need someone to pick me up because I don't know where am I. So yeah, that was my low.
Oh my goodness. I'm always scared of that. But you made it back because you're here.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
all that matters.
my husband went to pick me up and he forgot his phone in his car in the house, so he didn't know where I was. So it was like, so everything was bad. But and at the end we made it.
I'm
I'm proud
glad.
of you for that. Um, okay, so now we'll go into the highs. We'll bring it up a little bit. I guess I'll start because I wrote it down this time. So I made a charcuterie board for the first time myself yesterday. It was pretty good. There's just like a lot on there. I got like too excited, I think. But like I just put too many things on the board. But it looked good and I ate as much as I could. It was good, but next time I'm just gonna make
A
a
small
little
one?
bit, put a little bit less on the board.
Yeah, a small board.
Yeah.
For me, oh, yesterday I did a 10K for like the Strawberry Festival in Troy. Yeah, and it was pretty good. Like I had only run a 10K one other time before, and that was like out of nowhere, but this one like I planned it. So, but it felt pretty good. It was a little humid in the morning, and I was like, I'm gonna die. But then I made it, so yeah.
Oh, me. Um, so we're doing like a remodelation in our house. It has been 1 week, long week, with a lot of people on top of my roof, outside. I have in my bedroom, I have like a window. So like we couldn't, like we had to take her like, taking showers because like everyone was outside, like looking into the house. But the good thing is that we finished. We replaced like our siding, our roof, everything, and it looks so good, so good. So yeah. And I was invited for a really really nice um, podcast, and I'm here. This is a
Oh,
high.
yay. I'm glad the house is done and that you're here.
Moving on to today's theme, managing motherhood and professional career. So Daniela, we're just going to basically give you the floor, but with some guidance. So if you could tell us a little bit more about like um your experience. I know this is a little broad and journey being a mother in engineering, like if there's any specific thing you wanted to share, um, feel free.
Okay. Um, well, I graduated long time ago. I'm 34 years now. So when it was in 2014. So like, long time, yeah. um, so I finished like all my like my classes like on December. So I was ready to work. I was so happy, and then I got pregnant 4 months later. I wasn't planning, of course. I was 23 years old. I At that time I didn't want to be a mom. It just happened, and I was so scared. I was so scared. I was terrified because I didn't know what was going to happen. In countries like mine in Colombia, it's so difficult to get a job when you're pregnant, like because they're going to give you like to take tests, like medical tests, and if they realize that you are pregnant, they're not going to give you the job, which is
Mm,
bad.
yeah.
So I decided to be home no work and just take care of me and my baby. And it was hard because I'm like a free person and I like to have my money and I like to have my things. And I was like almost 1 year and a half in my house without doing anything. I was living of my husband's money and my parents.
Mm.
And yeah, it was like a tough time. But yeah, then I started like getting jobs and um, like I started in sales and then I moved to marketing and I was like starting my career and
Mhm.
then we moved to United States and everything changed again. So yeah, that's the beginning. I can keep going like but
No, whatever you want to share. But thank you for sharing that. I feel like um this, I guess, next not question, but I feel like maybe you kind of went into it. But is there anything that you've learned that maybe you wanted to share or
yes, I mean, mm, I'm not saying that to have kids needs to be something like really, really planned. And if it's not like this, you are not going to be successful.
yeah.
That's not what I mean because I'm being successful right now.
Mhm.
But if someone, or maybe if I was like more mature at that time and I planned my life better, maybe things were different now. Maybe right now I have like 3 houses or something. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, maybe I should plan like things better. And maybe that's like the advice. Like if you want to be a mom and a professional at the same time, just plan things better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there any challenges, like specific challenges or just like bigger challenges, like reoccurring ones that came up or that are still like occurring now?
just the like just the fact of being a mom is a challenge.
Yeah.
Then having a work at the same time is like two full-time work
Yeah.
jobs. So yeah, like challenge at the time that I was 23, being a mom, being scared, didn't know what to do. And then big one was moving here without my mom because and my mom and my father were always with me all the time, like helping me with my son. And also my husband's family, they were always with us. And then we moved by ourselves. We just have like I just have like an uncle here.
Mhm.
But you know what? When you're in the United States, it's you and yourself. Like when you move out from your house, it's like you. And it was like he was 4 years old when we came here. My husband didn't speak English. My son didn't speak English. I speak like 20% of English. Like my English was like bad, like
Mhm.
worse than now.
No, it's good now.
So yeah, that was challenge. Yeah.
Well, maybe we kind of touched on this when we asked you like what you learned, but is there any like specific advice that you would give um to anyone who's like listening or maybe in like a similar position as you, either a mother pursuing trying to pursue like a professional career? Is there any advice you would give them?
Yes, so I think that is really, really, really important that even if you're a mom or even if you're a worker or even if you're an engineer or whatever you do in life, um, you will need to have like time for everything, including yourself. It's so important that you have to be first a woman before a mom or before a worker. You need to think in yourself because if you think in yourself, then everything is going to move like good around you. Everything is
Yeah.
going to be smooth. So always have time for you. And that was something that I learned maybe just a couple years ago because I was like everything was work, mom, being a wife, being a mom, and go to work. That
Mm.
was everything in my life. And then by the time I realized that I need time for myself, I was already depressed. I was already like, I was sad. I was angry because I didn't have anything for myself. So I was like
Yeah.
asking me, like, I have to think in me first, because if I'm not happy, who is going to be happy around me?
Yeah.
So that is, and this comes with mental health, right? Like, you need to think in you first, and then you can give the people on the world what you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Is there like certain things that you do for yourself? Like, I don't know, take a walk or like specific things?
I run under
Yeah.
the sun, under 85 degrees.
And then and then get lost. That was on
No,
purpose.
I try to do exercise. I'm not a fit person, but I try to get like an hour in my day to do exercise, to run, to go to the gym,
Yeah.
yeah, to listen podcasts, watch Netflix. Like, I try to do that, like, to think in myself. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, having time for yourself or setting aside time for yourself, I think is a good point of advice. Sorry, I can't speak.
Yeah, and
Um,
other important thing that I is like, always when you feel that you are like, I don't know, overwhelmed, or like, you sometimes in life, even if you are not a mom or whatever, there is some moments that you feel like overwhelmed, that everything is going to explode around you. And I think that one important thing is that you need to always ask for help. Like, always, always, always. Like, always, like, raise your hand and ask for help. I think that that is important advice that I can give. And this is what I'm doing.
yeah, that's good because sometimes I can't ask for help because I'm like,
Yeah.
eh. I'm like, I could do it, and then there I go, dying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's important because yeah, I feel like it's hard, or like sometimes you're the person who's like, yeah, like to tell your friends or family, like, if you ever need help, let me know. But then, like, when you need help, you're like, no
Hmm.
thanks.
Yes, yes. But also, asking help is not just telling people like, hey, I need help in this. It's like when you feel that you need like a professional, for example, like going to a psychologist or
Yeah,
whatever. Like, that also, like, you have to think in your mental health. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that too. Um, I guess, is there anything else like maybe you wanted to share um before we go into submitted questions, or Vanessa, if there's anything else you wanted to ask or address?
I don't have anything before getting into the submitted questions, but I don't know if Daniela, you do.
I can share like my transition from being in Colombia and coming here,
Yeah.
like, without any help, and being a mom by myself, just with my husband. So, like, I graduated from engineer, and I was happy in my country, and then we have to move, and we couldn't plan anything. We just had to move, and we arrived here to this big country by ourselves. And I was like, well, I studied for 5 years, and now what I'm going to do? I have a son of 4 years old. What I'm going to do? Because I need to work.
Yeah.
Like, no matter
Yeah.
no matter what, I need to work. I need money for us.
Hmm.
And then I couldn't find a job in my career. I couldn't. I just had to do different jobs. I had to clean. I had to literally, like, this is something that maybe people don't know in Colombia, like my friends or my family. And so this is maybe the first time that I'm going to say this public, which was, I'm not saying that it's like a bad job or something, no. But it was difficult for me because I didn't clean my house in Colombia. So I came here to clean bathrooms, like public bathrooms. So
Mm.
I was like looking my face in the mirror, like, you really study for this? Like, I couldn't believe that it was really hard, but I had to do it because my son was waiting in our house for food or for whatever. So it was
Yeah.
like the first or second year was hard. And even my husband, he was working in construction. So we were in Florida and he was like on the roof of the houses building 90 degrees, like me running. it was it was really hard at that time. But now everything just moved the way I wanted, and I came here to Ohio, and I could get a job as an engineer, and then I moved to Honda, and now I'm working as an engineer in an office, which is exactly what I wanted to do. The job that I have, which is a process engineer, is exactly what I wanted to do when I was in studying, and I'm doing it. So it's like, wow, like 13, 12 years after, like, so like long time for this to happen. So
Yeah.
yes.
It's crazy how like not to get like so deep or inspirational or whatever, but like like when something is like meant for you, like sometimes the path isn't like always like clear, or like what you pictured. But like you get there. And I think like you're a perfect example of that. And like now how you're saying like, oh, this is the job that, like or the career, the path that you wanted. And yeah, happy for you.
Yeah. And when I came to Ohio, it was because of COVID. Like Florida closed everything because like they moved because of traveling people, and so they closed and we lost our jobs. We were like 2 months in our house with no entries. It was like really, and we couldn't have like the government like like the money that they gave at that time. We couldn't because we were waiting for our documents,
Mm.
and so we were like eating rice and eggs. Like it was difficult, and then we moved here and it was like we are going to start again from zero. It doesn't matter, we just made it one time, we are going to make it the second time. And I
Yeah.
came here and I didn't like, when I went to my first job before Honda, I applied for being an associate to work in the line. And when I was there, I passed, and someone, for like the president of that company, for some reason, he saw my CV, my curriculum, and he went outside and he was like, "Can I talk to you?" And I was like, "Okay, yes." And he was like, "Do you speak English?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, I can speak English." Of course, that's my first language.
Tell me anything.
And then he was like, "Well, we have an engineer position here. If you don't want to be an associate, you can be an engineer in our company." And it was like, "Tell me more about." And for like
Yeah.
inside, I was like, "Yeah, please, yeah."
Yeah. You're like trying to keep calm, but the inside you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't ask like how much they were going to pay me. I just say yes. But yeah, the conclusion of that is that you are when you mean to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah.
Like,
You are where
yeah,
you're meant to be. Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say.
I understood. I understood.
I know you're used to my English, so
I'm like, I know what she means. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm glad that you're here now and, you're in a role that you want to be in and you're thriving in your 30s. People say you do that. When you're in your 30s, you thrive.
Yeah, I saw that it was 25, but when I was 25, I was like, okay, what is going on here? But now, yeah, everything is moving good. And my husband, he opened a tattoo shop. He's a tattoo artist, and he just opened his shop here in town. So everything is just like moving good, and we are so happy. And yeah,
Yay.
yes, yes. But it has been difficult. And the English, like really, English has been so difficult for us. Like for me, not for my son. My son has both language perfect. I don't. So sometimes if I don't understand, I just like smile. This is my goal. Like,
You're like, yeah.
uh-huh.
That's okay. Fake it till you make it.
Yes,
That's
that's
okay.
exactly what I do.
I do that too sometimes. Like when I don't hear something and I'm like, yeah. Just like laugh along and like match the other person's energy so they don't think that you did hear that.
Yeah, the first meeting that I have in English, I was terrified. They start because it was at that time was COVID time and it was by Teams. And I think that in person is easier because you can, I don't know, it's easier. But by Teams is so difficult. And we didn't like we didn't have cameras or on or something. It was just listening. And they started speaking and speaking and speaking, and I was there in the room, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't understand. I don't know what they say. I don't know anything about what they say. I don't know what I'm doing in my job.
Yeah.
But then like 1 year later, my English has been improved. My listening has been improving a lot. And I mean, my English is not perfect, but I love my accent and I'm proud of it.
Yes. It's unique.
So we can move on to the submitted questions.
Yeah.
There's three. So the first one is, how do you balance your roles as a wife, mother, and professional?
That's a big one. It's difficult. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's difficult because I want to be successful in like the three. And but I think that like as I said before, the first thing is how like trying to I am a planner. Like I love to plan things. I like to have a schedule. I like to have like a day, like hour by hour. But this is me. I'm kind of crazy. But kind of plan your days and plan your time so you have time for everything. Um, I know that sometimes, like for the younger people, that they want to be a mom or but they are scared because right now they don't have time in their life, like with working, studying, or whatever. Like if you are studying, don't be a mom, just finish. And then, but if you want to be, and you said, I don't have time, and that's why I don't want to be a mom, but if you really want to be a mom, but you're scared because of time, you will get the time for sure. You will figure it out. But yes, just plan and always don't forget about you, thinking about you. Yeah. And
Um,
same with my husband, right? Because being a wife is not easy at all. But yeah, so if you have time for your job and you have time for your child and for yourself, you have to have time for your husband as well. Because having a relationship, at the end, I think that being a wife is really important as well because I I said that the kids are borrowed,
The kids?
not yours. They like your kids, your children. They are not yours. They are going to
Oh,
go
like you share.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like share. Yeah. So at the end, the person that is going to be with you is your husband, is your couple. So you cannot forget about your relationship
Mm.
while you're being a mom, because at the end, this is going to be your future, your life. So it's have a balance of everything, which is not easy, but you will get it, like for sure.
and I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like a lot of people they forgot to be a wife,
Yeah.
and because they say my son or my daughter is more important, which I don't think that is like I think that loves are different. Like I love my son different way that I love my husband, um, but it's not that someone is more important than the other one. But then you need to give your couple time because that is your future if you want to be with that person for your whole life, right?
Yeah.
So that is really, really important. Like to don't forget that little thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, no, yeah. Like just like taking it all
Yeah,
in, writing it
yeah.
down. I just don't want to repeat myself, and then I repeat myself. So our next question is, what was the biggest shift or surprise working in Colombia versus the US?
Like how, like I don't understand that question. Like how,
Uh, I guess if there was any differences like maybe in like the work environment
okay,
or
okay.
I don't know, the way that things were run, or maybe just like if you had the same job in both places, like if there were any differences,
Yeah.
things like that.
So I think that the big thing in both countries is like, for example, in Colombia, they pay me in pesos, Colombian pesos, but I spend in Colombian pesos, right? In here, they pay me in dollars. Of course, I spend in dollars, but it's easier to have a life here. I don't know why. Like the way, like it's not because they pay me more. Like if I convert the dollars in pesos, it's a lot of money, but then I spend a lot of money in dollars as well. But I don't know why you have a future. It's like that is a big difference. And I think that is, I'm not like smart in economy and all those things, but I think that is the economy of both countries. Like
Mm,
in Colombia is difficult to have house, to have car, to have like your own things. In here is
mm,
a little bit easier, so you can move on like faster, like faster. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that that's the big difference. But yeah, something that is really similar, and maybe this is like like a big thing related to this podcast, is to being a woman working in engineering environment. Like both countries are the same way. Like I'm not saying that is like discrimination or something. No, I think that is a cultural thing everywhere. That is getting
Mm.
better. Is getting so much better. But being a woman, engineer woman, it's difficult because sometimes I don't know why they think that because we're women we don't, like we are less smart or something, right?
They have
But
thoughts, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is a thing in both countries, like yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
Well, that's good to know. Everywhere we go. Um, well, this is the last question. But feel free to like circle back to any of these if you want to, later on. If you could tell your undergrad self one thing, what would it be?
Oh my god, my English has stopped working with that word. What is an under what?
Undergrad.
Undergrad. So this was before like grad
Like,
school. So when you were in college, basically.
what would you
Oh,
tell yourself when you were in college?
Yeah. So if you could tell yourself one thing during that time, what would it be?
saving money. Yeah, I start saving money when I start working, like not in my first job, but later. And I think that that is a big thing. Like whenever you start working, and like if you're studying and working at the same time, try to save money for your future.
Hmm.
Can you hear my son in
A
the
little bit.
background? Yeah, he's screaming. I told him, please, Tiago, but no.
That's okay.
But yeah,
He's
I
like, they
think
have
that
to know
that
I'm
is.
real. Yeah.
He was like, meeting? You have a meeting on Sunday? Like what? Yes, yeah. I have an important meeting, so please.
Very important.
So yeah, I think that that is a big one. Like like you never know, but if I do count, like if I go back and I like maybe $1 per day since I start working, how much do I have right now? Like
Yeah.
I don't have it because I didn't do it, but I think that that is a good advice. Yeah, always try to save money.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm
and
like,
be like organize your finances.
Hmm.
yeah, finances.
Yeah, that is important too. It's difficult, yes, but it's important that you know how much you receive and how much you're going to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'm like, even now, I'm like, I should have like started saving when I was born, probably. Like right out of the womb, like
Like, what was I
look
doing
at my
wasting all that
pocket, a
time?
dollar a day.
yeah.
But that is good advice, yeah. Vanessa, do you have anything else you want to share? Ask.
Um, Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, well, that was the last submitted question. So I guess this is the time where if there's something that we didn't address, or anything that you thought of, that you didn't think of before, or answers to any questions, now would be the time to address them. Or forever hold your peace. No, just kidding. Before we close out.
No, I think that I already say so many times this, but don't be afraid to be woman, mom,
Yeah.
worker, wife at the same time. Because I'm not a feminist, but I think that women are made for big, big things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our brain is made for multitask. Our brain is made to manage a house, your home. Our brain is made, like even our body is made to have a child inside. Like we as a woman, we are big. Like don't be afraid of take the next step because you will be successful in whatever you do.
Yes, that's such good advice. We are meant to be in these places that we're in.
Yes.
Yes. Victoria, do you have anything else to add?
No. Sorry, I
Okay.
was muted. I thought everyone heard me clap and silence. But no, I think that was it for me also. So I guess
And
we're
last thing,
oh yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm so afraid of? That this is the first time that people in Colombia is going to like listen to hear me speaking in English. So
Oh,
that scares me
no.
so bad because they know me in Spanish. They don't know my personality in English. So yeah, that's my English below.
You're
I
like,
knew
I'm introducing
you.
myself. Well, that's exciting though. I
I
feel
know. That's gonna be so good for you.
um okay, so that's it for me. So I guess we can close out. I wish we had like a cute like close out outro type of thing, but we don't. So don't forget to visit our website, follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, oh, and TikTok
TikTok,
and
yeah.
YouTube. So we'll post our podcast, and we always do on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And I think that is all.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you so much
you.
for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye
much for
bye.
being here. Bye.